The Global World History Atlas is a project designed to help people learn about history and to tell stories about history with maps in a better way than they can today. Essentially, it consists of a new type of map display for playing maps and animating them throughout history, and better ways of searching for maps. Now today, people typically search for maps using text-based tools like Google, which is fantastic and has a wide range of information available. So if I were to search for River Valley civilizations, I would get a lot of text that I could then sift through one site at a time, or a bunch of maps that I could try to visually compare and find the one that helps me with my needs. But it would be tough to make them interact. Instead, it would be nicer if I could just search for maps similar to the same way you use Google Maps today, or by the way you use a map when you look at it. You focus on a particular area, you highlight it, and then more detail is provided for you. Then, in addition to that, it would be nice to be able to filter your map information through the use of a timeline. So here I am looking at Ethiopia, and maybe I could slide back to just before 1900 in Ethiopia and be delivered to a map that looked like this, where I could learn that Habesh and Abyssinia were prior names of Ethiopia, which I just learned. Thank you to my slide creator. Now, the Global World History Atlas, or GWHAT project, is also focused on helping our educational system improve the way that technology supports their needs. Now, the search method I just showed seems simple, but it could be even more simpler, more focused for educational needs. For example, if I were a teacher and I knew that the standards applied to me were the local state standards, and I was an 8th grade social studies teacher and teaching an English class, English speaking class, I should be able to just say those things, hit a button, and be delivered to a bunch of map content that was relevant for my coursework. And that would be fantastic. But the goal isn't just to help them search more easily, but also to help them synthesize the data that they find. So we'll go back to this example, look at the two different map layers, perhaps from two different sources. You can think of these as two different maps that you saw in the big grid from Google in the prior example. And so I can add those to a map, and we have the technology today to create players. Now here are the maps that I've selected: Civil War battles and the order of succession in the states. Here's a depiction of the United States as it existed prior to the Civil War, in fact a few years prior, and we can see that things are going on like territorial expansion. The state of Oregon and Minnesota have just joined in, and then early in 1861 we might see that the state of South Carolina has seceded, and that other states then followed, and that there was then a pivotal event, which is right here, and that is the siege of Fort Sumter. And we could learn that that's what drove some of the other states to finally secede, and then the battles begin, and a few states decide that they're going to be border states, try and figure out their role. At the same time, we see that Kansas is still adding to the Union, so in the midst of the Civil War, we are expanding and adding states. You can see the war unfold in terms of battles. And this is just a prototype design here, but you can see the types of information, and there's the Battle of Gettysburg, that can be depicted on a map. And there's no reason you couldn't overlay other information on this, such as the Underground Railroad or campaigns, to show what was going on throughout time. So the web is capable today of showing far, far more powerful insights and tools than it currently is using static maps that don't work well together. So GWHAT is planning to build a free, easy to use, standards aligned, online interactive historical atlas. It's the Global World History Atlas. At last. Coming soon to a web near you.